Hey big fans, and welcome back to the Big Bakery, where all our jokes are half baked. I'm Jacob, and today it's time for Let's Build and Review. In 1989, the Berlin Wall fell, and I was playing around with this, the 6527 tipper truck, which is a set from that year, which consists of 39 parts and one minifig. This little tipper truck was part of the town theme that ran from 1978 to 1996. That theme has been renamed several times to City, City Center, Town Junior, and World City. But without further ado, let's have a look at this little build. And here we got the manual for this build, a simple one, just a blue background, some chimneys here in the background in silhouette, some green middle ground, and a grey foreground, supposed to look like concrete or asphalt. It's actually a pile of concrete or dust or sand right here. It's very hard to see both in the real picture but also in the camera view. I think this is supposed to look like a bunch of sand that the tipper has just unloaded right here. Other than that, we've got this big Lego logo and the Legoland banner. Very, very neat. No alternate builds in this one, just the manual for the main build. So let's get on with the build. And here we get to an interesting part of this build. This part of the build utilizes some of these pieces right here. These are some of the original Technic pieces, I think. At least these are some of the original hinged pieces, which I'm pretty sure doesn't really exist anymore. At least they're not produced anymore. But these were very, 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 very widely used in Lego back in the late 80s and early to mid 90s. Great small pieces with some cool functionalities to them. As far as I remember, these 1x1 studs, transparent plates, round plates right here, are some of the more rare in my collection from my childhood. When I had these as a child, I don't think I had too many of these. I'm sure there's many of them out there right now, but back then these seemed kind of rare. And here is the finished tipper truck. First of all, you've got to notice the wonderful yellow color scheme. This just screams construction in every direction. It's interesting how effective the yellow color is to communicate construction and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know why that is, but it's just how it is. This is undoubtedly a construction vehicle. But let's take a look at the truck and the minifig individually. The truck actually holds the same amount of bricks as other small Lego vehicles. However, this one big piece right here really adds to the size of this little truck. And it's also this tipper right here that really adds to the sense of playability. Looking at the truck from this side, there's of course these doors that can open and close. Great classic piece of Lego. And looking at this from the front, we really get a sense of how tall it is. This is 2 bricks, 1 brick, and 2 bricks, and a plate. So that's 5 bricks and a plate. That's impressively tall for such a small vehicle, I think. The other side is of course identical to the first side, and what's really interesting is looking at the back. At the back we got the main feature, which is this very play function right here. This tipping motion is the main feature of this build, and I've got to admit that this is great. I really like the look of this. And this particular piece is actually pretty interesting. It has been featured in 41 sets and is still in use. In 2018, a grey piece like this was used in the downtown diner. Now that is cool. That's longevity for a specialized piece like this, I think. And what's really great about a play feature like this is that you can actually fill it up with bricks like this, and you can tip them out like this. Ain't that just cool? An additional feature is of course the roof that can be opened up like this, which we see in so many 80s and 90s vehicles. There's of course the little classic steering wheel in there as well. The little truck also comes with a couple of tools. This classic broom that we have seen in so many sets never gets old. Really like the look of this one. And of course the shovel as well, which is equally great. These are two of the most classic pieces of minifig tools and accessories that I can think of. And then of course there is the minifig. He's wearing this very classic blue hat. He has a very classic smiley face look, and this stripy shirt is looking very, very smart. And of course a pair of very classic blue pants. I'm actually not sure if this smudge up here is something that was there originally or if this has happened over time. I have no idea how it could have happened over time. So if you have some kind of idea or some kind of insight to how this could actually happen, please let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to hear about it. And as this is a late 80s, early 90s minifigure, there is of course no backprinting. This is a great little set. I really enjoy that it has that wonderful play function where it can actually tip and you can use it practically in your play. That coupled with a good digger as well, and you have the perfect combination, I think, for hours and hours of play. I'm actually pretty sure that this set is one of the sets that was almost always completed in my collection. That this is one we used all the time. Maybe the tires were changed at some point for some of the newer ones, but other than that, I'm pretty sure this one was almost always completed. And I really think that's a testament to how great a set it is. It's small, but it's very, very precise. Somewhere in the middle of the 90s, the town theme changed. And that meant that the vehicles went from this 4 wide standard to a 5 or 6 wide standard. Of course, the 5 or 6 wide standard really added to the realism of Lego vehicles, and I think that's really cool. But I got to admit that these old vehicles really hold a special place in my heart. I think it's wonderful, this sort of go-kartish look or this very, very minimalistic look. It's just great. You really get the sense of a mini world for mini people. Everything is just small and neat and very, very cute. The minifigure is probably the thing I've been wondering about the most ever since I found this one again. I would have expected his torso to be one of those pocketed ones with buttons on it that looks a lot more like a worker type person, a construction type person, but this one just has these stripes. It's a little confusing to me and I wonder why that is. But other than that, I think he looks great and I think he fits the vehicle nicely. So when all is said and done, I think this little vehicle adds nicely to your fleet of construction vehicles. I like the play functions, the tipping and the way that the roof can actually open, and I like the blocky look of this set. And even though the minifigure is a little out of sorts, I think it's still a great figure. So all in all, I like this set. So that was the 6527 from 1989, the Tipper truck. A great little set with a great play feature, really like this, and I like how that adds to your whole fleet of construction vehicles. Great little set that I think is cool. One thing I think I would have changed is maybe add a couple of yellow transparent plates, 1x1 plates on top to give it some lights. You know, that would be a quite cool modification. Other than that, I think this one is pretty cool for what it is. But that's all for me today. I hope you'll comment, like, and subscribe, and hope I'll see you guys next Monday.